Ma'am, I'm going to have to ask you to step aside. The security officer's voice cut through the gentle hum of the airport lounge like a sudden gust slamming a door. Heads turned. Conversation stilled. Somewhere in the background, the hiss of a cappuccino machine seemed too loud. At the boarding gate for Flight 217, a frail woman in a faded floral dress stood alone. Her fingers clutched a worn leather handbag, the strap frayed from years of use. Her hair was pinned neatly in a bun streaked with silver, but the lines around her eyes told of sleepless nights and long journeys. Before we move further into this story, I said, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to hear. Let's dive in. The officer glanced at the paper in her trembling hands. It was a ticket, creased, a little faded from being tucked into that bag too long, but unmistakably printed in bold, first class. He raised an eyebrow. This is a first-class ticket. Those seats are for paying passengers. The words weren't loud, but they carried. The woman looked up, her voice soft but steady. I booked it months ago. My son, he's in the hospital. I need to get to him. The officer's jaw tightened. He leaned in slightly. Ma'am, we have a dress code for our premium cabins. His eyes flicked to her scuffed shoes, mismatched, one brown and one black. You understand. From the corner, a young man in a sleek navy suit smirked to his friend. Guess anyone can try these days. The woman's cheeks flushed. She clutched the ticket tighter, as if the paper itself might shield her from the stares. The officer opened his mouth to continue, but the sound of a chair scraping against tile interrupted him. Slow, deliberate footsteps echoed from the VIP lounge. Two men in crisp pilot uniforms emerged first, polished shoes, gold-striped sleeves, but they weren't alone. Behind them came 6 crew members in matching navy blazers, each wearing a silver wing pin over their heart. They didn't rush. They didn't need to. The air shifted around them, as though the room had been holding its breath. The tallest pilot stopped just short of the woman. His gaze softened, but his voice was loud enough for every curious ear nearby. Captain Reyes. It's been a long time. The officer blinked. Captain? Yes, the pilot continued, without looking away from her. You once commanded the first all-female crew to land an emergency descent in a typhoon. You saved an entire aircraft, and everyone on board. Gasps moved through the crowd like a current. Someone at the counter whispered, Is that the Manila storm, Captain? The young man in the navy suit who'd been smirking earlier now stared at the floor. His smirk had vanished. One of the crew stepped forward. She's the reason I became a pilot, he said simply. If she's flying with us, she sits in the best seat we've got. The pilot turned to the officer. We'll be escorting her to 1A. On us. The officer's tone shifted instantly. Yes, sir. Of course. The woman's eyes shone with a mixture of surprise and humility as the group guided her toward the jet bridge. She clutched her handbag tighter, almost as if she still couldn't believe it. You didn't have to do this, she murmured to the tall pilot beside her. Captain, he said, smiling gently, when you've taught the world what courage looks like, the least we can do is carry your bag once in a while. She blinked, her lips parting in a faint smile. The kind that comes from deep gratitude, not just for the act, but for being remembered. As they boarded, passengers in the waiting area seemed quieter now, more thoughtful. Some avoided her eyes, embarrassed. Others watched with a newfound respect. In the cabin, the pilot personally pulled out the seat in the first row and gestured for her to sit. The flight attendants adjusted her seatbelt, offered her a warm blanket, and spoke to her like she was family. Because respect isn't about uniforms, or medals, or even heroics. It's about remembering that greatness often walks past us quietly, and we should see it before the world tells us their story. If this story touched you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a reminder of what true respect looks like.